to be 2v1 mid. Daydreaming on his Blitzcrank as we come in to one of the final matches of the day. We still have 2 more to go after this. There are 8 matches for our 4th of July blowout here, and we are on to the Rift for game number 6. So we're going to see Team SoloMid versus Coast head-to-head here. Good matchup like we were saying. We're going to see what they have. Daydreaming on that Blitz. We're going to be hoping for that buff control that he usually goes for.
And since we have this special 4th of July as well, all of our games getting played for week 4 just on the 4th of July here. One of these teams is going to become our 2nd undefeated team of week 4, which is actually something we haven't had, I think, before. I don't think we've had 2 undefeated teams in the same week.
No, we haven't. That's kind of difficult.
It's about to happen.
I guess they didn't play each other. Statistics. We use statistics here to prove our points. We'll see what the odd one. They are just, wow, really? The personal line of scrimmage. I have not seen this since the late 60s.
It's been a while,
It's been a while.
Back in my day, they used to put up a line of scrimmage, and then Blitzcrank would hook people, and they stopped doing it. And I wonder why they're doing it right now, because Daydreaming would have the threat to come in, but Coast is actually biding their time and hoping they can walk into a TSM pull.
There's the flag toss over, so they know where they're going. Well, that's obvious. They know where the vision is, and they know where they can go. Those are the words that I wanted.
Sometimes people don't know where they're going.
You never know.
I would agree.
Absolutely. We'll have to see. The ping's going down back bottom, so they're just covering the ground that they have already passed, making sure it's safe on the re-entry if they need to. Man, back to covering the blue. Pretty even.
Yeah, TSM's real scared of them level 1. You can tell just by the way TSM is giving Coast any ground they want. TSM's pulled it off without too much cost right now. They've only placed 3 wards down. Coast hasn't gotten any wards directly on any TSM buffs. And for now, it looks like TSM came out of this pretty much fine.
It looks like Wild Turtleneck Special are definitely going for the Blaster Master fast level 2 here in the bottom lane. So we'll have to see. They are going to match up versus Daydream and Mash Me, but it's kind of hard to all in on the Blitz.
The Blaster Master all in level 2. All right, and we'll just go with it. And it's actually really surprising since Daydreaming on Blitzcrank used to pick it because he wanted the buff control. Everyone's been talking about how on the 3.8 jungle patch, it's all about the early game buff control. And then they send Blitzcrank bottom instead of mid lane where he can't assist with that same thing. I feel like they're just looking for a pull onto Draven or Sona early and trying to get a kill. But they're with Caitlyn, who doesn't trade close range damage with Draven well whatsoever. So
neither of these teams lack any type of engagement here, early or late into the game. So this is all just kind of who is going to outskill who in the grab and slap game.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fighting in this one. We think. We have been wrong before, but I feel like we're going to be able to get this one. Daydreaming and Don't Mash Me, because of the level 2 that Wild Turtleneck Special helped by getting those late double golems and then walking into lane a little bit late, has given them that early ledge in the lane on top of just having Draven.
Everybody slow and steady wins the race right now. Not too much movement in any of the lanes. Not even the junglers coming up behind Reginald or Shifter right now. We see them going in. They're about even on their CS. Everybody's playing really calm right now. It's like a friendly game.
They're just happily going into their bottom lanes together. 2 games in a row now. Hey guys, let's 2v2. Let's just not lane swap. Let's not do this thing we've been doing for the past 4 months. I don't want to anymore.
Ooh, and this is where we see the lane ganks once again coming in. It doesn't look like it's going to get too much more than pressure.
And I wonder if they're going to try a bit of a hard push here, or if it's just going to bait a fight in. Since they do not have approach wards for the odd one, they could potentially get a fight. But once again, they just decide to back off.
I think they did see him when he was at his wraiths. They have just popped back up, and that ward was present. You can see the pings going down. I'm going over the edge. Odd one might be here. No, his wraiths. Gonna steal him.
And there's a couple things telling me that these guys are both just trying to play very conservative games. A, it's just they're showing themselves. They didn't do any level 1 invades. And the fact that they're not trying any sneaky lane swaps whatsoever. So really very conservative games from these guys. Not wanting to make mistakes mainly.
Flash blown in mid for Reggie there. Coming up around the backside, Nintendude skipped over the Dragon Wall, came up right up the Wraith camp, and that's one of the main reasons people love Jarvan, those sneaky attacks.
Being able to jump walls and escape wards. There's so many wards that get placed down very early on in the game, and Jarvan plus Zac are 2 of the junglers who can avoid and traverse them best.
See what happens. Odd1 is probably going to stick around that area for quite some time, knowing it's going to get a revisit here from Nintendo, but he is trying to be omnipresent in every lane, strike fear into Team SoloMid, and now he looks to take an advantage at the top, possibly blowing 2 flashes here within 2 minutes. And
Nintendo's still got the red buff left here. Darius is playing so cautiously, doesn't toss into the flag. Darius going to walk away.
So close. Oh, it's just the tip. Couldn't get it. 5 minutes into this one, Nintendo trying to be in every lane, but he just didn't have anything in the top one.
Yeah, he was not able to create the presence there on Darius. Couldn't get him back, unfortunately for that guy.
Tier already in the hands of Reginald. He starts to stack that up quite early in the mid lane. Shifter quite low. He is going back himself, and Mashmi's getting pushed back to the turret. These guys should all be going back for their first buys quite soon. You see the pressure in that bottom lane. The level advantage means a CS advantage.
This lane not working well for Coast right now. 41 to 26 for a Caitlyn lane. Caitlyn is generally picked to win lane, or at least outrange and keep Wild Turtle at bay, but I'd have to say that early level 2 is really paying some benefit here, and Odd1 is probably the best counter ganker in the LCS, always seeming to mirror the enemy jungler.
Odd1 roaming around. Doesn't look like he's going to find anything out of this one. Patting his chest. He will just go back. He's going to wait for this. If it's not Nate Cell, he just can't decide. If it's not in 8 seconds, he's going. If it is, it isn't. Soon enough, it's going to be Nintendo X coming up for the counter gank here. He is on the roll towards bottom lane. We may have a 3v3.
I wonder how patient the Odd1 is, because he's waited about 15 seconds there. And he's had no eyes on Nintendo X. Plus, TSM only has those wards in the mid lane, so they're banking that Nintendo X would still be around. And instead, he just gets fed up. He's like, oh, push it.
He got him! It's the Cell division under the turret! It's gonna be popped! Can they get it? Do they have enough? And it looks like they will. A turret shot for one, a few for the other. Is he in range? Mashmi takes the last. Oh, it gets taken. Kill secured, Nintendo.
And now Shifter coming around from the back because Wild Turtle stuck around so long.
There's the Room Prison, locked it up. Oh, he gets pulled back. Ping pong, back and forth. Expression goes down.
That's what Coast was waiting for. Daydreamin landed 2 clutch hooks that led to 2 kills. This is why they pick a Blitzcrank over something like a Janna, even if the Janna feels like it would fit the team comp better, because Daydreamin is so comfortable on Blitz and he makes plays like those.
Talking about being comfortable, allowing Wild Turtle and Special to push the lane the whole time, being up in CS, feeling like they have it. One grab, bam, that lane just got turned around. They played them into that quite well and waited it out. Dyrus now against Zion Spartan in the top lane. Still 54-50 in that lane, quite even. Both are building for each other. So,
yeah,
not too much in that. Still, like we said, they're going to be left on that island.
It'll be interesting to see if Dyrus goes for a Hex Drinker or if he goes full offense, because Hex Drinker will be more to fight Zion Spartan. And if he just goes straight tier, it's more about the team fight phase. Whether or not Dyrus can handle Zion Spartan's Elise around level 9 where she spikes will be very key in telling that matchup.
You can see how much consideration TSM is putting into ward control. 3 already across that, 1 for Dyrus, also Odd1 and Xpecial obviously with those wards. They're just trying to stop these kills that are rolling into the favor of Coast. You can see they're really all across the river right now, so all these ganks have to be coming from the lane. And
Zion Spartan, or sorry, Nintendo X, spending a lot of time looking around, same with the Odd1. Neither of these guys are trying to farm up their jungle too quickly, and they're mainly just trying to support many of the lanes, because the lanes are having pretty impressive battles right now.
Just watching everybody mill about at this juncture. Nobody wants to fight. It's like they both know the power's not there to get the kills. It's too risky if we even want to try it, and that's from both sides. Right now, really the only action, Shifter's low on mana in mid. Reginald's kind of got him pushed.
And these guys kind of all want a bit of time to power up. Reginald's wants to get his Tear of the Goddess, Rod of Ages build going on Karthus. Even Dome Ashby needs a couple items on Caitlyn before he can fight Draven. And Shifter needs to get his mana going as well. So even though I think TSM kind of has the late game, and that's what they're eventually going to go towards, Coast wants the mid game. They want Elise to get level 9. They want Ryze to get his mana items. They want to be able to force Dragon pulls over the wall with Daydream, and they can't get there yet, which is one of the reasons both these teams are being conservative, even if it looks like TSM has a late game edge.
The junglers, like you said, not present in any lane. The ADs and supports freezing in the mid lane right now, in the middle of their lane, I should say. Zion Spartan trying to make some movements. Finally, a little bit of movement here from Coast, and if they can land this cocoon, it will for surely I don't know. Zach on the other side. Odd one, always there. Always.
Reginald is very squishy right now, just the tier of the goddess. So if Coast landed any kind of stun anywhere near Reginald, they could kill him probably instantly as long as they're not exhausted while they're doing the damage. So it was a worthy roam, but they decided not to do it because the odd one was close and Reginald was just sitting in his turret.
Dyrus is getting some heat here in the top lane. He's got to be feeling this. That sixth sense. He's like, I don't see too much around the map. I'm going to keep cutting ward vision. There he gets out. No, he's going to have to flash this one. Again, Flash is being burnt by Nintendo, but he's not returning to these lanes. Reginald flashed, and he's got his back up from last time. There really wasn't any pressure there.
The only kills that Nintendo X has really assisted on was the ones where Daydream and hooked people in for him. Right. So he's provided a bit of presence, but he hasn't really made any big plays yet, and that's a very timely ward by Dyrus in the top lane that's going to waste a lot of Nintendo X's time.
Dyrus keeping himself super safe. Bottom lane, once again, Wild Turtle and Xpecial trying to put the hurting on. They're still up in CS even after going down. We have to note that Don't Mash Me got 2 assists out of that. 2 kills is a whole heck of a lot better than 2 assists, especially when Daydreaming got one of those kills. And
especially when Wild Turtle has been bullying him out of that lane. So even though they got the kills onto the lane,
right,
it didn't help Don't Mash Me get ahead of items. They're both still sitting on a BF Sword and Doran's Blade.
See if they can stall this one out still. Oh, that was such a close grab. Almost max range coming in. Definitely would have been a kill. The wards easily giving them enough vision to do that. TSM, like we said before, trying to keep their vision up. It looks like Medios Medios. Nintendo X. Too many names just melding into one with the champions. Now making some extra moves.
But once again, Reginald faded away and was able to avoid it. There's a couple wards on TSM's map, and they're doing a lot of work in scouting for him. Nintendo X just seems to be attracted to running over wards just accidentally.
They're absolutely in the right spots. Looking around, 94, 98 in the CS, 110 to 94. All of these are quite close. Like we said, the 80 carries. Really that discrepancy. Xpecial getting grabbed in. Another one for Daydream, and the turret takes down Xpecial. And Daydreaming, gets the second kill of the lane.
Just dangerous trying to keep shoved into it. Daydream in the whole game. Odd One's waiting in the brush. I don't know what for because they're outmanned.
Oh, he locked him up on the slingshot.
Can he get the hook?
Great toss. The hook is back. He's got to be 100% on these hooks right now. The second cell division. That's the second time it hasn't been used in an offensive way, and they've had to run from it defensively.
And here's the unfortunate thing, though. While I agree that Daydream earned those kills, they would be much better spent on Don't Mash Me, as Wild Turtle's dead as well.
He's got his ultimate. That passive going to start locking down these kills. Oh, yes, and Mash Me gets that one. Here's the window of Requiem. He stays alive with 100 HP, the level 1. Not enough damage yet.
And that was almost the danger of trying to give up a kill, because when Daydreaming didn't last at Wild Turtle, it almost got him low enough for that Requiem, but because everything's went well for them, it's now 5 kills to 0 for Coast. In pretty much large part to just Daydreaming's amazing hooks, but the 3 kills on him specifically weren't the best distribution of gold for Coast.
One after the other for Daydreaming, getting all the levels into his Q, and that rocket grab 4 straight into it. He is definitely putting up the throws to put up the points. So the team grabs Dragon after that. They're up 2,000 gold exactly. 13 minutes on the clock and 5 kills in their favor. Now we have to remember what TSM did earlier. They're a team that can be on the back foot. They can let this play on their mind. They don't get too frustrated, but they're not happy about it. They can fix this.
They're making themselves work for their victories.
Yeah,
man.
Hard mode.
Even their game against CLG over the weekend at MLG was within reach, but not easy. TSM is a team that's used to getting a lot of easy victories. That's just not the way the LCS works anymore. And Coast jumps on them early because TSM hadn't been making many plays. They tried to push up the turrets, and it was Daydreaming who created all the action.
TSM was the team back in the spring split, super weak to start the turret crush, the 2 minutes in the bottom lane or the top lane before 5 minutes. And now we kind of see that not working, not in their favor, but not trying to press that strategy anymore. The teams have seemed to be able to stop it, and aggression is the answer.
And coming into this game, they're just doing standard lanes. TSM's not trying to get the pushes on. They're not pulling anything creative like that. Maybe they're trying to go back to basics, saying, we used to beat everyone's standard. Why are we trying creative stuff? Let's just grind these games out and beat them late game, which worked for them, in fairness, against Velocity, even if it was frustrating, and they're hopefully banking on it again, but an 0-5 start is not that promising.
We gotta say, it is the team we said looks super scary. It's not exactly we're gonna win every lane. They're aggressive in each lane, but every one of those champions pinpoints a target to fight on. You got your gate, right? The Requiem, the dots to go down. Zach's gonna jump in one spot. So once they get the team fights, once the bunching comes together, I think they'll be able to coordinate a little bit better.
And that's what TSM is counting on, because their lanes, if Wild Turtle hadn't been getting ganked so much or just pulled so much by the Daydreamin' lane, are winning. Reginald, even though he's listed as top lane, is essentially in mid lane, up 24 to Shifter's Rise. Even Dyrus' Jace is up 20 to Zion Spartan's Elise. So their solo lanes have been successful. It's just the kills that are going in the wrong way. That could potentially be a saving grace for TSM once this incredibly extended laning phase actually ends.
It always seems to be a point Nintendo Dex has time to come down each time. It makes it into a 3v3. The crowd control quickly goes in their favor. The odd one, again, not a mistake, but sits on a possible gank for 15 to 20 seconds.
He's always been really patient, and I actually feel like Coast is trying to exploit that a little bit by just having Nintendo Dex freely walk around in his positions. They almost expect the odd one to be there for counter ganks, so they're accounting for that with Nintendo Dex just being obvious.
Playing this mind game right now from the side of Coast. They're keeping that gold lead up, 2.1K in their favor. And our sixth match of the day definitely has these players' adrenaline going. No nerves for these guys. They know it needs to be done. And right now, Coast has put a 5-0. No turrets yet, but they're finding the kills. So you have to realize after these kills, they're not really pushing anything. They're not gaining any ground.
And until they do, that 5-0 is not necessarily a lead yet. I had a game earlier yesterday when I started 6-0 for like my team, and we lost horribly because we gave a few kills back. The bounties bounced such that since our team was worth more gold, which is with Daydreamin' right now, that if he dies, he's just going to feed someone on TSM. And until Coast takes more turrets like they just did and more dragons, those early kills don't actually mean that much yet.
That's the thing, though. It's not like if he dies. The support is going to die at some point. You are the last line of peel for somebody once they get in. You're pulling damage to you. Daydreamin's gonna lose that gold. Hopefully he doesn't get godlike anytime soon.
He's on his way. He's doing pretty godly with this Blitzcrank right now. As he forces the flash.
Get that static passive to kill people. Reginald holding down mid. Good siege clear here. They ping Odd One just behind. Where's the Odd One? He's behind Reginald. Go figure. Let's get out of this position. They're playing it smart. Leaving Nashmi down to the bottom. Oh, the flash crescendo. He's still got that net. He may still be able to. No, he used the net to get in there. There's the Requiem coming down. He's got good space. That will take him out along with the Draven ultimate.
And Reginald just gets that assist at the right time. So the instant Daydreamin' left Don't Mash Me, TSM turned on the afterburners and just went for him. I was actually going to comment at how healthy that Coast turret was, considering Wild Turtle and X Special have been there the whole game. And that's because of how scared they've been, I think, of Blitzcrank pulls. But he leaves for a second, gets another pull, but it might cost him.
Oh no, he locked him in that time. This is where you don't want that gold to go. Shut down to Turtle. But here comes Nintendo. He wants to pull it back in his favor. It's going to be some good damage coming from Turtle. There's Shifter throwing out the machine gun spells. Can he get in the buzz? Oh, Cataclysm takes down Turtle. The shell wasn't strong enough. Odd One tries his hand now. It's going to be the 1v1. Back to the pop-up. Odd One definitely has that cell division back up. He is going to bounce right out of this one to shut down of his own.
And this just continues. Shifter picks up a second, and all that turns into a 2-for-2 with Coast actually losing their mid turret. So this game is swinging back around, Riv.
Reginald trying to get to the top lane. They're doing everything they have to adapt and save the lanes after quite a fight in the bottom lane, leaving two TSM members, Nintendo down as well. Dyrus going to pick up the red. They're trying to get all the advantages they can now and really get into the minds of Coast after that quick 1-2 punch.
And when Shifter went down bottom to kind of rescue the disaster that had happened for Coast, even though he did save that situation, he created another problem of his own because he allowed Dyrus to push all the way up mid, get the turret, and also steal that very important red buff. So a lot of back and forth going on here. This game kind of exploded in activity in the last few minutes.
So I think we're going to see Reginald now start to face off in those side lanes. Requiem becoming really the global presence for him as it is, but I don't think we're going to see him in the fights until we get to those objectives, which we are now, so he starts to head down.
And this is kind of a new look for TSM. You almost never see Reginald being the one to be off his split and say, hey, other 4 guys go make plays. Reginald's the playmaker with his team at his back, and they'll usually have Dyrus doing the side stuff, but they know how much they need Jace right now to control this dragon with the poke, which is why they have Dyrus down in the mid lane.
Requiem. Reginald has all the time in the world now to waltz down towards that mid lane, meets up with his team towards the dragon, and I think they can reposition to just take this. And
this is an even trade, though. Reginald left that turret, which was very low. He may not have felt confident in himself to hold that against the Zion Spartans, at least who's been farming the whole game. And they just kind of got what's good. First dragon for TSM, but 3rd turret for Coast.
Wild Turtle down to the bottom lane, 158 to 157. We said the CS was quite close. Looking at Dyrus against that top lane Zion Spartan, it's 184 to 181. There was a big discrepancy there. Right now, that's only sitting between Karthus and Ryze, and that's to be expected for Karthus.
Karthus is the farm master.
Yeah.
In fact, the probably never to be broken, I'd say, unofficial minion kill world record for Froggen, 300 minion kills at 22 minutes and like 47 seconds that he set last season 2 World Finals, was on Karthus. That's where everyone sets their minion kill records. Reggie's at 220 in 20 minutes 30 seconds, which is one of the highest totals we've seen.
Pretty good.
It's just an incredibly farmed Karthus, and Reggie's great at it.
And with the Karthus to do that, it doesn't just come from your lanes.
No, it comes from the jungle a little bit, and that means the Odd One, with all of his patience, is giving some stuff back to Reginald. He's like, hey man, I'm gonna camp bottom lane for a little bit, wait in a brush, you can have my jungle. Reggie, since he shoves so quickly, goes and takes Race, goes and takes Wolves, and the team doesn't lose anything when the Odd One's down there ganking.
So amping up Reginald to become that big factor. Requiem window is open. They see Daydreamin'. That Oracle's coming out here for 20 minutes. He's gonna start gathering up vision on that map, looking for his return on investment here, as they start also to put that light bright out.
And this is the thing that all supports do, this Ruby Sightstone to boost mobility. But I really wonder, with all the early kills that Daydreamin' picked up, it's still just going into more wards and more vision control, since that is kind of what Blitzcrank wants. I'm waiting for the moment when a support builds items after getting a few kills. It seems like they only just want to go for wards, and we'll see if it pays off for Coast.
They got one wall out. It's not going to push them off just yet. Dyrus on the backside, but he does not have a clear shock blast out to the team. Tries to get that to the side. Looks like Coast backing off.
And this is really forced because Wild Turtle is just clearing out multiple turrets. So Coast, if they want to stick around here, kind of have to make something happen or just send Zion back right away, which is what they've done.
So just by seeing this, we can tell TSM feels they have the upper hand. They feel like they can even engage on this possibly. Going through the... Oh, we got Reginald gets pulled back. Is that what they wanted? That's the AoE damage. They're forced to flash away. Odd One bouncing right in. Here comes the Requiem down. It is going to do a good amount of damage, but isn't enough. Daydreamin's still alive. Oh, Nintendo, you're so helping right now. Map speed and shifter may go down. Dyrus to come in and lay down the hammer.
Just bash them away. Home run for Dyrus there at the end. 4 kills for TSM, even though he didn't get that last shock blast. And even though Reginald got pulled in and died, just got a Requiem off in that fight. When they pulled Reginald in, they killed him from range. That was a 4v4 where Wild Turtle's ultimate was the only thing to reach, and TSM still dominated it. That shows how much TSM was waiting and banking on the strong solo laners to come through for them, and it's working right now.
I really thought it was going to be TSM going in, but it looks like Daydreamin' kind of delivered that one to them. With Reginald going down so early, it caused a lot of flashes to happen, and then they were forced to turn around and go just fisticuffs.
Pulling in Karthus obviously made the fight, and we knew this game was going to come to fisticuffs when we saw the team comps. These are 2 teams that fight, but that's always good for Karthus. If you're fighting a lot, getting maximum traction out of your passive, and that's honestly what Reggie wants at the end of the day.
We'll see what TSM decides to do. They have 2 down here, not down, but 2 not with the group. Odd One's down in the Wolves, and it looks like we're going to have Dyrus joining with the team. So they get 5 power in mid, power in numbers for them. And it's just going to be the poke game now. We'll see what Dyrus can do. He has blue buff. There's no reason for these guys to rush into a fight. They just got to make the situation look a little bit better before they want it.
And Coast is still going to go for vision control. They're going to hope to pull in. It's weird though, because that last fight when they pulled in Reginald, sometimes, like, normally you don't want to pull in a Karthus because it just puts him in a position he wants to be in. But the way they pulled in Reginald and killed him in that fight was actually good, because Reginald didn't get any spells off and it was just a Requiem. The troubling part for Coast now as they approach the rest of this game is they still lost the fight with a perfect pull on Reginald. So what does that mean about the dangers of the upcoming fight? If they could pull in Dyrus maybe that would be the target they could pull in. But then they still have to worry about killing everyone else on TSM. And with how badly that last fight went, it's trouble.
where you can see how much they consider the composition that's now coming about for Team SoloMid. They almost have wards that would, look like they're fighting against the fiddle. That's the initiation they have to worry about. That's why they want so much vision, right? They're getting just taken out from Zach coming over the walls if it happens. So we'll see if they can hold this down. Coast. Oh, okay. I thought he was getting ready for a grab. Someone looked like she was coming close, but his special keeps it clear. He has an Oracle of his own. And they're about to be quite privy to these Baron wards coming up.
Daydreamin is just trying to find that miracle hook to swing things. They know they don't win team fights, so Coast has to find the right hook or just hope TSM jumps into a bad situation. That's why they're bouncing back and forth here, and that's why they seem to have really become a bit more cautious. The other reason is both of Coast's side lanes are also pushing down a little bit, and they realize TSM's going to have to fall back. That's when Coast should come up and try to get that fight.
Both of these teams moving very slowly with what they do. Now we see Wild Turtle and Karthus down in the bottom. Requiem is here, so that's what they're relying on.
And they're just going. They recognize that TSM had went for the split push. I feel like they're going to have to turn and fight. I don't expect TSM to wait too long to go in on this. That Baron's already at half, though, going down pretty fast. Now TSM knows they're there. They're low.
Dyrus coming in. Dyrus gets pulled back. The Requiem comes out. They are able to get it. It goes into 10, dude. Odd One comes in and tries. Let's bounce. Good damage here coming from Wild Turtle. A few more shots is definitely going to drop at least one. Odd One going down. The Cell Division is not up, but it's going to be 3 members so far for Coast. Then 10, dude, with a sliver of health, goes down bleeding, and Sion Spartan is forced to run.
And everyone just tried to bail out for Coast there. They recognized they went way too aggressive with that Baron. Luckily, it didn't get stolen by the Odd One, but it's still a 4-for-1. If we actually trade the Baron gold versus all the deaths they took, it's pretty equal, but TSM gets this turret afterwards.
Pushing forward, the Baron definitely not helping Coast that much. It's good gold. 42,000 is the lead for Reginald and team right now to the 39,000 of Coast. So Baron is going to at least help Zion Spartan hold off these minions for now.
Zion Spartan's the one lucky man. He's got 1 assist, no deaths, top CS on his team. He's wearing that sweet, pretty little Baron buff, so he's going to have to get himself very involved. When Coast does well, Zion Spartan is usually prevalent in the game. The fact that they're not winning that well, and that Zion Spartan's been involved in 1 of the 10 kills for the team, means that Coast needs to get him more involved.
I'm going to go ahead and attribute that to these guys seeing some of the most successful Barons today. All the ones we've seen have been successful after fights, and it's just leading people into that.
It was also a desperation move by Coast because they knew they couldn't win team fights. So as soon as they saw Reginald bottom lane, they're thinking, awesome, let's just go. Then once they got scouted and were kind of low, they're just like, oh crap. We either run away and TSM just gets the Baron, or we get the Baron and try to run.
And it's not that Reginald is going for a max power build either, so maybe they took that into consideration that it's not going to be a Requiem that takes half of our health, because he is going for kind of the I can sit in the fight forever build.
Yeah, he is going, well, I'm not sure where that Amp Tome is going. What Reginald generally likes to do is a Zani's Hourglass instead of a Death Cap, because it allows him more time in the team fight and gives him more overall zone control. Maybe. But it obviously depowers the Requiem a little bit because he's got no Death Cap.
Looks like he's piecing together a few things. We'll see what he comes to in the end. A Void Staff and a Rabadon. So nice, be nice in the inventory right now. 11 to 10, very close in kills. The gold lead at 5,000. That's definitely going to help Coasts pull back a little bit as they got that Baron. But 5 to 3 in turrets. TSM has found their way to 2 inhibitor turrets. They haven't taken them down yet, and the bottom one pretty much going to be the next one they go after.
And Wild Turtle is 2,000 gold ahead of Don't Mash right now, and it shows in items. Reginald made the call, he's going.
Throws out the exhaust. He does have Shifter single targeted, getting that double damage from the Lay Waste, and it looks like Daydream is going to go down to the Requiem as well. The Oracle falls. That is the map vision they've needed for oh so long. Dyrus and team about to take the turret, possibly the inhibitor.
Big fight for TSM, and Wild Turtle's on a rampage.
Just going 1v1 right here, puts on the shell, goes hardcore. And Turtle's gonna turn around as Zion Spartan a little too tanky for a quick kill, but easily harassed out of the fight.
There's that 2,000 gold advantage coming in, just saying, hey, you, let's fight. I'm gonna flash into 2 people. This is a steamroll of Coast base by TSM right now. They just flipped a switch.
I've never been hit in the face with $2,000, but it looks like it hurts pretty bad. This inhibitor going down, Zion Spartan, he's with the Baron still. He definitely wants to stay alive. He's like a saving grace here, even in a squad of 2 people for Coast. He is gonna be the one to stop the clear and get these guys out.
I'm still recovering. That was a good line. $2,000 really hurts when it hits you in the face. Think of how much gold that must be that Don't Mash just got 2-shot by. Oh my goodness. That's a terrible set of circumstances for Coast right now. Down 2 inhibitors against a superior late game team. TSM has kind of won these last 2 games just by flipping a switch. Like the Velocity game was 40 minutes of struggle, and then they won in like 2 minutes. This game's been a bit more gradual, but they're still winning it really fast.
It's like an okay, we've had enough moment that they kind of come to. Right now, Reginald's still in the bottom lane. Looks like he is going for the Rabadons next. He'll be picking that up quite soon. 1-1-11. Daydreaming at 4-4-4. So he actually has picked up a few more kills for himself on that support, and it's a 1-4-7. Put that the other way, right? 4-4-4. So
yeah, if those kills were over to Don't Mash Me, then it would have been like $750 he gets hit in the face with, and it might not have hurt as bad.
That wouldn't hurt half as much. You're definitely coming back from $750. 30 minutes on the clock, 8,000 gold to go, and 7 turrets that TSM has been able to find. There are 11 that sit on Summoner's Rift, so those 3, or that means 2 rather. The inhibitors are open. They only have 1 more, and the bottom one isn't even something they need to go for right now. I said they were going to because it was just Baron's down, objective free, and now they do, so I'm just going to stop talking.
This is just the move TSM's going to do. This is your standard finish the game, especially when TSM's been winning so hard. And the fact that there's an outer still up in that lane as well. This outer is indefensible for Team Coast, because if they try to hold out here, Super Minions would take down their Nexus turrets. It's just the smart play for TSM.
We got to make note of Dyrus too. 6-0-5 on Jace. Muramana finished. We have a lot of those core items as we are 30 minutes into this matchup coming through for these teams. The Infinity Edges to Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Static Shiv. So there's a good amount of 2 grand right there just in the build of Wild Turtle himself.
And Coast has had a bit of time to set up shop here with those 2 traps, but I feel like the Odd One's big enough and strong enough that he's just going to sit on those traps, get rid of them, and then TSM can still consider going in on a dive. I think TSM wants to wait until either a couple more of those Shock Blasts land, or until they can just nearly ult him out.
Oh, Mashmi going back to base. Mashmi's not with home guards right now, so this could be a quick turret coming in for TSM. They dropped the last inhibitor turret.
They are not waiting on anything. They get the wall, they're going.
Let's bounce crescendo at the same time. It's going to be a dance-off here for Team SoloMid. They continue to go on the Nexus turrets. Minions are flooding the base from every side right now. They are getting help from each inhibitor, and each super minion is now on the Nexus turret.
And they're getting so many Shock Blasts. They're still quite low, but this is a very difficult defense for Coast right now.
The first Nexus turret, very, very low. Odd One, the ace in the hole going back to him. Nintendo Deck so low that one of the tankiest on the team gets taken out. Mashmi is the focus.
Damage.
One last axe coming from Wild Turtle. It is his league. It is his game. And he is going to be going 7-3-7 coming into this one. The last Nexus turret falls, and Team SoloMid finds another win on this 4th of July game day.
Looks like TSM is ramping back up. Triple kill.